Hello, I am Helmephisto from EU West, and I would like to welcome you guys to my discovery session for the Ku Tigers. So, first of all, the first thing I want to talk about are the invades and the level 1s. So, usually from blue side, the jungler and the top laner will go for a very defensive position, which is going to be in their own jungle. In the top position of the jungle, there they will be covering both entrants of the jungle, one in each, and then the mid laner will be on the left of the Drake, and the bot lane will be covering the Tribush area, and sometime will stand into the river for more coverage. There has been no real invades from Ku Tigers from the blue side. Only invades from the blue side were to actually drop lane swap wars and nothing very serious. Also, something I want to make a note of is that they will never invade versus a Braum. They will totally respect the Braum and never go for anything too ballsy. Now, from the red side, there are usually defensive positions, but there has been one invade, but I think it was because it was like their first game in the tournament versus Spain Gaming, and what they did was go full hard mode, and they stormed into the top side jungle of the blue side without dropping any wards behind them, and they were clearly super they didn't know anything, and then when they went back, they actually got wrecked by the Pain Gaming squad, which because they just face checked and had zero vision. So sometimes from red side they're actually gonna do this sort of thing. This is something I want you guys to benefit from, making sure you guys are very aware of what's going to happen. Hello, I am Helmephisto from EU West, and I would like to welcome you guys to my discovery session for the Ku Tigers. So, first of all, the first thing I want to talk about are the invades and the level 1s. So, usually from blue side, the jungler and the top laner will go for a very defensive position, which is going to be in their own jungle. In the top position of the jungle, there they will be covering both entrants of the jungle, one in each, and then the mid laner will be on the left of the Drake, and the bot lane will be covering the Tribush area, and sometime will stand into the river for more coverage. There has been no real invades from Ku Tigers from the blue side. Only invades from the blue side were to actually drop lane swap wars and nothing very serious. Also, something I want to make a note of is that they will never invade versus a Braum. They will totally respect the Braum and never go for anything too ballsy. Now, from the red side, there are usually defensive positions, but there has been one invade, but I think it was because it was like their first game in the tournament versus Spain Gaming, and what they did was go full hard mode, and they stormed into the top side jungle of the blue side without dropping any wards behind them, and they were clearly super they didn't know anything, and then when they went back, they actually got wrecked by the Pain Gaming squad, which because they just face checked and had zero vision. So sometimes from red side they're actually gonna do this sort of thing. This is something I want you guys to benefit from, making sure you guys are very aware of what's going to happen. Now, something else I want to talk about is how Ho-Chin does his early clears and what his jungle pathing is most of the time. So let's first start talking about the blue side. For blue side, what Ho-Chin will do is he will duo the Gromp, then do his blue buff, and then he will keep clearing his whole top side jungle with wolves, and then he will go either into red, never res, or invade if he's Elise. So after red he's gonna do res, and then he's gonna back, or after this maybe he's gonna do golems and go back, and then he's gonna just run top. And now from red side, what he does is Krugs with of course with Smeb into red, res, and then into blue buff, or he's just gonna run into your bot side jungle and invade if he's Elise. Most of the time this is what he will do. Also, after his first back, Ho-Chin will a very high percentage of the time go to help Smeb. If Smeb is pushing, he's gonna be in the lane bushes, and he's gonna make sure you're not gonna fuck around with Smeb. So this is what I wanted to talk about for Hojin's early clear. And then what I want to talk about is where he ganks. So as you can see from these stats, the first gank Hojin does is 60% of the time is top lane, 20% of the time is mid lane, and 20% of the time is bottom lane. These stats just show that his first gank is major, like his very first major ganks are usually in the top lane. This is because sometimes he does not gank the top lane because his lane is so pushed and he actually like can't push over there, or sometimes it's just because he knows maybe it's safe, he's just gonna let him be. So the second ganks, just 70% of the time are top lane, 20% of the time mid lane, and 10% of the time bot lane. He will never gank bot lane second. He will always, almost always gank top a second time. He just can't stop. This is something you guys have to be super wary of, is that Hojin just he's perma top. This is where the whole game is and revolves for Ku Tigers. This is where they get their leads and where they gain it back. Top lane. Now I want to talk about where and how to fight Ku if Ku is ahead. So these stats take into account the number of moves they did and how many were successful or unsuccessful, and in different parts of the maps. So as you can see here, you have 21% of the winning moves which were made top lane and 0% of the losing moves. So when they have a lead in top lane, they're just gonna keep smashing top lane. Something I want you guys to notice is that they have 7% of their winning moves at Drake and 22% of their losing moves at Drake. So contesting Drakes is actually super good against Ku Tigers because they have poor shot calling, it seems, when they're around the Drake area. And something else I want to talk about is the Baron area. 10% of their winning moves are over there and 22% of their losing moves are over there too. So this is something I want you guys to be super wary of. Be super careful, but you can actually contest those objectives, it seems, and this is something which can get you back into the game. Something I want you guys to notice too is that the enemy top jungle, so when they go into your top jungle, you cannot fight them there, and same for the bot jungle, you cannot invade them. What you can actually do is go into their top jungle, and you can actually make good plays over there because you have 11% of the moves, of the losing moves, which are made over there in their own top jungle. This is something I want you guys to be super careful of. So what I want to highlight here is that top lane is very, very snowbally. Once they have a lead, they never lose it. Never. 0% of the time. Now I want to talk about when they are behind. So once again, top lane, I want to highlight this. 33% of their winning moves when they're behind, so that's like 1 move out of 3, is from the top lane. So this is their way back into the game. If they're behind, they will keep going top. And now let's look at the losing moves. 28% of the losing moves are made in the top lane, so it's actually super beneficial for them to keep going top because they will win most of the time. 33 is superior to 28. Now something I want you guys to be wary of is the fact that they have 0 winning move at Drake when they're behind and 0 losing move, which means that they will never contest a Drake, and that's super good for you guys. You can actually know that they're super wary about contesting this. Now something I want to highlight is you cannot go into their jungle most of the time, but they actually don't do losing moves over there because they have super their warding is super good, so you don't quite find the right move when you go into their jungle. Somewhere you can actually show yourself is the mid lane. You see the mid lane, 16% of the winning moves are made over there, same for bot lane, but 35% of the losing moves are in mid. So once you get a lead against Ku Tigers, what you want to do is to shove mid, and it will most likely work out. Now, something I want to talk about is how do the Ku Tigers engage? So I made sure to like make entries for each and every person who ever engaged in this team, and this is what I found. I found that Gorilla is responsible for almost 50% of the engages of his team. Prey on Ash is responsible for 9%, so that's pretty good. And you definitely have to be wary of this. Almost 10%. Kuro does no engages in this team. He sometimes will Azir Sec someone, and sometimes flash Lulu ultimate, but that's about it. Hojin does almost 20% of the engages, and Smeb with his TPs and aggro plays, flash hooks and shit, will do 17% of the engages. So this is something I want you guys to be super wary of, is Gorilla. Gorilla is a big playmaker. Now we'll be looking at how do the Ku Tigers ward. So usually during the games, what they do is they litter the map with pink wards from the top side to the bottom lane. There will always be a pink ward on one of the sides of the rift during on the mid lane. There will always be a pink ward in the top lane, usually in the river. From red side, what I've seen is there's always a pink ward which will allow Smeb to just shove in and not be gankable from the river. But this one can be juked just by going through the Baron wall with either Lee Sin or Rek'Sai or something more creative, maybe Gragas, but it was disabled. So also what they do during pick comps is that they will pressure you guys into foregoing the vision war by always advancing their layers of pinks towards your base. One at a time, they will move it and they will strangle your vision, and finally you will get picked and they will do Baron. Something I've noticed also, what they do for Baron is that they actually ward in the pit and then very far around the dragon, the Baron. They will, though sometimes they forget to pink the pixel bush, which will give you guys a good chance not to get fucked around by a Baron bait. This was responsible for their defeat against Flash Wolves. They lost it because they kept baiting it, and the bait was not effective because there was no pink ward in the pixel bush of the Baron pit. So something you have to be wary of is that they will bait very much around, and it's going to be super interesting for you guys to sneak a ward, and usually they're just going to be baiting it. They don't always go for it, and this is something I want you guys to be wary of. And finally, what I want to be talking about is the fact that in a resume, if you want, a couple things I want you to say are that Ku Tigers is a very top-centric team. They will always look to snowball Smeb, and since he's the captain and shot caller of the team, they're actually going to spend so much time getting him back into the game so that he can do stuff on his own and lead from a winning position. When they were playing against KT, and KT had their top laner crushing Smeb, and just he always kept going top, Hoshin of course, and he would just try to get Smeb into a winning position, because this is how the Ku Tigers function. They will go from the top lane, and then from winning the top lane they will radiate this power play to the other sides of the map. But this is something they really want, is Smeb to be carrying. So to actually negate this, what I want you guys to do is make it so top lane goes even, and this is what I want you guys to focus on. From what we've seen, from the stats I've gathered, what they do is win from the top lane. This is where their winning plays are. This is where they don't lose, and this is what I want you guys to focus on, is not letting them win the top lane. And I will let Daylor do what he wants for this, but it's very important that you guys understand there's no winning the top lane against these guys. They will actually like force it down you guys, and if your duo loses it, then there's no coming back from this. So thank you guys for watching. This was Al Mephisto. I was doing this to apply for the Fnatic analyst position, be it remote or in-house. I'm available for anything. If you guys want to talk to me, you can add me on Twitter or even Skype. My Skype is protozil.coach. Thank you guys for watching. Bye bye.